Hello, and welcome back to Mancinima. I hope you're all doing very well. We've got another film review for you today, so apologies, it's been a while since we've done one of these. But today's film review is for a movie called Sting. It's directed by Kia Roach-Turner, and it stars Alila Brown as a young girl who lives in this apartment building with her mother and her stepfather, and also her aunt owns the building, and her grandmother also lives in the building, so it's a bit of a family affair. The movie starts off with the grandmother, and the grandmother is sitting in her house and she's watching some of these old Universal Monster movies on the TV. I think she actually might be watching Revenge of the Creature or one of those Creature from the Black Lagoon spin-offs. And she starts to hear all this hammering and all this banging in the walls, along with screaming and some scuttling noises. So she decides to call out the bug exterminator. And the bug exterminator is Frank, and he's played by Jermaine Fowler. And he comes along and he's investigating all the noises, and you suddenly hear Frank kind of open this door and he gets vanished away. And then the movie rewinds by 3 days, so we go back in time to find out what happened. There's a kind of a comet or a meteor landing, I guess. There's loads of little spores that you see entering the Earth's atmosphere and landing in various different places, and one of them crashes through this old lady's apartment straight through her doll's house and lands in the doll house. And the opening credits are actually really good because you see the doll's house and you see the creature that's inside, which is obviously a spider. It's all over the posters and you see it in the trailer. So there's little spiders crawling all around inside the doll's house. And it's a really good, effective way to do the titles. I really did enjoy the way they did that. The little girl breaks into the auntie's room. She's often going through the air ducts, and she's a bit, like I say, a bit of a tearaway. Her father has left. She's living with her mother and her kind of stepfather, who she's trying to get along with. And she's just kind of bored. So she's kind of breaking through these air vents, going into all these various different apartments, looking into them, finding out what people are up to. And like I say, she gets into her auntie's apartment, breaks in through the air vent and goes into the doll's house, and she discovers this spider in there. And she befriends the spider, captures it, puts it in a jar, puts it in the Matchbox Festival actually, and then takes it up to her room, puts it in a jar, and she befriends the spider, feeds it, and becomes, attached to this as some kind of a pet, because she's, I guess, feeling a little bit odd herself, so she thinks she'll have an odd pet. And, things are going great. She starts feeding the spider a little bit by little bit, but what she finds is that over the space of a few hours, it grows massively, and she begins to worry that it's getting a little bit too big. I don't want to go too much into the story further than that, really, because I think you really ought to go and investigate this one for yourself. It does take a long time getting to the point where you really want to get to the action. There's a lot of character exposition at the beginning. We are introduced, because Charlotte goes in and out of the air vents, we are introduced to some of these other characters that she sees through the vents. So you see there's this kind of a mad scientist upstairs. He's got a bit of a reputation, if you know what I mean. So he's upstairs. And then there's this kind of sad woman downstairs who, she's looking at this photograph, and obviously it seems like her family's gone, or maybe her family's left her or anything, but there's no real explanation as to what actually happened. All you see is her picking up this photograph and staring at it and feeling remorseful. And yeah, there's all these, like I say, there's all these other different characters around. The aunt's a bit of a villain, a bit of a Cruella de Vil kind of thing, if you like. She's kind of marching around and giving orders and things like this. But yeah, there's an apartment building full of these characters, and obviously these are victims for the spider eventually. As it grows and as it begins to kind of take over the apartment. The movie is kind of loaded too heavily towards the beginning, towards this character exposition, and the spider doesn't really do anything until the latter half of the third act, when it really begins to come into its own and breaks loose, and that's when you get to see the stuff that you really came to see this movie for. That said though, I thought the movie was a lot of fun. I did think the characters were kind of thinly sketched. They tend to go from being kind of one character at the beginning. There's a character called Ethan who is the stepfather, and he's kind of portrayed as nice at the beginning. He brings the young girl in, encourages her to do drawings, because she writes comic books and things like this. So he encourages her to do drawings and things like that. And then there's a midway point through the film where he is getting frustrated with not getting the jobs done in the building, and also this other job that he wants falls through. And he just has a complete character turn. He becomes kind of nasty and aggressive, and he completely changes from what we've set up. So we began to emphasize with this character, and then his mood changes towards the latter half of the film, and you suddenly lose all empathy with him, and you kind of think you don't really care what happens to him. You think, oh, he's kind of a villain now, so I hope something nasty happens to him with this spider. So there's a little bit of that going on. Like I said, I thought the characters were very thinly sketched. I thought the only real character who stands out is the young girl. I thought Alila Brown gave a fantastic performance as Charlotte. She's really strong, very confident. She delivers her lines with conviction and everything. So yeah, I thought she was fantastic in the film. I thought Frank, played by Jermaine Fowler, was really good fun. And like I say, everybody else is pretty much set dressing for the spider. The spider itself, the effects are okay. They look great, you know, for the few moments that you see them. I think the director wanted to go for a bit of a Jaws vibe with this one, in that he wanted to keep the creature kind of hidden until the latter half of the movie, which is kind of a good thing, really, because when you do see the giant spider, it looks okay, but it does really kind of have that this is not real feel about it, if you know what I mean. That it's better when it's in the jar, when it's looking tinier, but obviously the bigger it gets, the more false it looks. That said, there's a couple of good moments where they build suspense by kind of hinting that the spider's in a cupboard, or, you know, and something else happens and you see like the occasional leg and the occasional shadow on the wall, which makes it look bigger than what it is. So they do moments like that, and there are, you know, those moments work very, very well. Like I say, there's other characters that are in the film that are kind of cannon fodder that you just know are there just for the spider, and they're very thinly sketched. Yeah, what else can I say about it? It's fun to watch if you love your movies like Arachnophobia, and if you love your movies like... actually, this movie gave me vibes of some other films. It gave me vibes of Gremlins. So, you know, when they bring the Mogwai back, it's all cutesy and everything at the beginning. Then it goes into this stage when it, you know, the cocoon happens and then it becomes the gremlin. So it gave me a vibe kind of like that. It gave me, like I say, vibes about Arachnophobia. There's a couple of shots that the director uses at the beginning where he kind of races up to the grandmother's face, which were very much like Sam Raimi's shots from either maybe Evil Dead or maybe Drag Me to Hell or something like that. You know, when they do those crashing booms where they kind of crash into the person's face really quickly and then draw away really quickly. Very Evil Dead kind of vibes with some of the camera work in this. Something else I need to say about the film is that, again, in places, this movie is very, very dark. Now, I don't know if they're trying to hide the creature. I don't know if they're just trying to build suspense by showing you something in the dark. But it's so badly lit in a certain part of the film that you really cannot see what's going on. And this is on a big screen, remember? So we're really straining our eyes to see what's going on. So film directors, please hire lighting directors, because this just doesn't work anymore. A lot of the movies we're seeing nowadays are far too dark. And you know, you're wasting your film. It pulls people out of your movie. So please just light it in some way. Look at the movies like Alien. Look at the movie like Aliens that did this back in the 80s and the 70s, and learn how to light a film set for a suspenseful film like this. The movie, again, with the creature hiding in the ducts and things like that, gave you an Alien vibe, or an Aliens vibe, if that's the one that you prefer. So there are moments like that. So yes, it kind of recalls previous films from the past, and it becomes its own beast, if you know what I mean. It is a fun watch. Like I say, the characters are thinly sketched, but it is a fun watch. And if you want to get out and watch an enjoyable horror movie at the cinema, then this one opens on this Friday. What else can I say about this film? The only thing is that it does have an end credits scene. It's kind of midway through the... Well, it's a mid-credits scene. It's not brilliant, so you know, you don't have to stay for that one. But the conclusion of this film ends in such an obvious way that I was kind of disappointed with it. I said to my wife, this is going to go one of two ways. It could end this way, where, you know, you see the ending that you see. I won't spoil that for you. Or it could go another way, where you follow the path of those other comets, because there's other comets and other things that go shooting through the atmosphere at the beginning of the film. And I thought that might have been a more interesting way to do it, because it would have taken you away from where we are into maybe another part of town where there's another situation going on, and you could have developed a story from there. But they didn't go that route. They went into the way that you see in other horror movies where, you know, like I say, I'm not going to spoil it, but you'll know what I mean when you see it. Anyway, that's my review of Sting, which opens at cinemas this Friday. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you did, you know what to do. Down there's a little thumbs up icon. Click on the thumbs up. It costs you nothing to do. If you're brand new to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. We got movie reviews, but we got other stuff on here as well. If your kids love dinosaurs, there's loads of dinosaurs footage on here. There's loads of kind of travelogues of places that I've been, Hollywood, Santa Monica Pier and the beach and everything like that, and other things. So if you like those, you know, please subscribe, because it's all free, and hit the notification bell and you'll know when I've done another one of these videos. I don't know when I'm going to be doing another review video. It might be Wolverine and Deadpool, it might be something else before, if something else surprises me, but pop back and you'll see. But thank you for watching this one. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.